system we have, for better or for worse, and I just have to figure out a way to make it work. Because if you're middle class, if you're working class, if God forbid if you're lower class, there's just, you have to figure this stuff out yourself. There isn't a way, there isn't a system, there isn't. It's set up so that the people that control the capital and the people that make the rules are the same people in the same country clubs. Check 21. In October of 2005, Congress, in their brilliance, revised part of the regulation for banking. And they said that from now on, if you write a check to someone, this idea of float, this idea of like, I've got to pay my rent on Monday, and I get paid on Friday, and I put my check in, and then on Monday, I give my landlord the check, and I know that it's okay, even though technically the funds haven't cleared yet from Friday because they were drawn on another bank because of a float. And that means I give my landlord the check in the morning on Monday. My landlord takes the check to the bank and puts it in, and then the bank calls someone up, metaphorically, has them take it over to this other institution and has them put the check in. And so I've got several days before I really have to have the money in my account for these things to be covered. That's a float, and it works both ways. Not anymore. Check 21, the 21 being the 21st century. Congress, in their eminent wisdom, with their lobbyists from the banking industry, decided to do away with the float, because now we have computers, and now we can say that as soon as I hand that check to a teller and the teller puts it in, that money is taken from my account. That money clears out of my account and goes to the other person. So the bank has my money. Now, the other person doesn't have my money. The other person still has the float. That means the bank takes away my float and still keeps theirs. Okay, so arbitrage is a risk-free profit. That means you make money on something without doing anything. In other words, you give the bank your money. They take it and they invest it in overnight government securities or one-day or two-day T-bills. And they pay you nothing for it because they still have the float. Believe me, Congress has your best interest at heart. And so what they said was, in conjunction with the bankers who helped them write the laws, that after 30 months, 2.5 years, they would look at how this change has impacted the consumer, and they would convene a study to decide, is this something that is lopsided towards the banks, or is this something that's a win-win for both parties? If I want to get from here to here, I have to use this system to my advantage. And if you just follow the rules to be a good little boy or girl, you're going to get fucked, because the people that own the money and the people that write the laws to govern how the money is used are the same people. There are plenty of examples of how this is done. You just have to find them and follow them. You have to take your situation. You can do these things, but you can't do them if you go where they tell you to go, do what they tell you to do, follow their rules. We have this credit system that is based on timely payments over a long period of time, so that you're never late, you're always perfect. It's absurd. It's your car insurance rates are based in part, not on if you've ever had any accidents, that's part of the formula, but in part on, do you pay your bills on time? They have all these mathematical models where they say, if a person behaves a certain way and they do a certain thing, then here's how we interpret them mathematically on paper, and therefore that's the rate that we're going to use to lend them money. Perfect example. And you have to know these things, and you have to think the way these people think, because these people walked in and said, I'm doing this my way, and you deal with it, and let my credit history bleed red ink, and let, you know, the frickin', you want to see how many times the fucking bank is called today? I changed the number on the bank. It doesn't say the bank's number anymore. it says your life is. So when they call, it says your life is calling. Because that's the choice. Do you want to be an old man with a mountain of regrets and a perfect credit score? Or do you want to live the life that you feel you're put here to live? You know, you can't. You have to go your own way. You have to figure out what it is that you want, what it is that you need in this life. You have to understand the rules so you can either bend them and twist them or conform them or play them to your advantage. Because the only people that play by the rules are the ones that are asleep, that are just walking through this life and believing everything that is spoon-fed and told to them. And they get old and they have regrets. And then that's what you get to, that's your legacy. That's what you get to hand over to the next generation. You can't do that because we have this life and that's it. There's no guarantee.